Hey guys, welcome back to Literature in Robes with your host Jared.
Man, we're getting good at this.
I'm here to present a couple of books that kind of came up unexpectedly and pushed their way right up into my to-be-read list, I guess you could say. There is a movie that apparently is coming out that relates to all this as well. The two books that we're going to talk about today are Mickey 7 and Antimatter Blues by Edward Ashton. He's written some other things, but he's definitely getting some attention for these because of the movie. But they are science fiction, sort of near to mid-future science fiction. Humans have acquired the ability to colonize several systems, and they have these groups that go out to set up a new world. And they have these people who are called Expendables. They are folks who can have their memories uploaded into a memory storage device, and they can become useful in many more ways than, say, robots might be able to, or animals that you might have to train, or things that don't have the constitution of a human being. And in walks Mickey, who can work in emergency situations during space travel from colony to colony. They can actually help to save people when bad things happen. I think the concept of this being able to say, put yourself in harm's way, die, and then when you die, you can just come back with your memories and live again in a new body. It's unsettling in some ways, but you're immortal in other ways. So yeah, think about that one for a minute. I think the concept of it was very interesting, thought-provoking, very science-based, very political, somewhat plays a measure in it. Mickey tells his story from a first-person point of view. Being an expendable is not necessarily a good thing. It has its own set of challenges, not just for Mickey, but also for those around Mickey.
It's a little bizarre.
The first-person narrative that Edward Ashton uses to describe Mickey's point of view is probably the best way that he could tell the story because of certain things that happen in these books. I won't say too much.
You made a lot of promises to the Macho Man, didn't you?
They are having these interactions with a different species that is native to this planet that they're trying to colonize. It just plops you right down into this situation where they have encountered this alien life form and are figuring out what to do.
You play by different rules.
The book has some pacing issues. I think as he gets into a lot of exposition, I believe Edward Ashton is going for something that is believable and scientifically accurate, which is commendable. But when that occurs in the book, I believe it sometimes drags down the pacing of the story. However, in the end, it does feel like, okay, it's good to know this. But some of it, I think, maybe didn't have to be in such detail. There's not a whole lot of character work that goes into these characters. They are definitely distinct in how they interact with one another, but they're not incredibly deep in my mind. But the story definitely keeps you going. The mystery that needs to be solved by the end of the book, it's good, it's satisfying. By the end of the first book, we definitely get an interesting conclusion. It feeds into the fact that there will be another book, or there should be another book to continue on where they left off at the end of Mickey 7. And that's an Antimatter Blues. And both of the titles sort of allude to what is in the book, of course. That's good titles are for, so. But the second book, it kind of involves a little bit more. Now, once they've made that first contact, what happens beyond that? What other types of interactions could there possibly be? And the second book explores some of those options. The world kind of opens up a little bit more, but not too quickly. Again, it's in a first-person narrative, which seems to really, really serve that central character. It's nice because you don't really know what everybody else is thinking, and so it kind of helps to keep the tension up. And I can see why they wanted to make a movie, which is called Mickey 17, I think. So it makes me think that maybe the people who bought the idea, the rights for the book, took the idea and are going to create their own story. And I think it's already out, and I've heard mixed reviews, I think, about it. But that's kind of what happens when adaptations occur. Sometimes the heart of the story just gets lost. But overall, for these two books, I'd say I gave Mickey 7, it was 4 out of 5. Again, some of that character work was a little bit rough. The plot was great. It was straightforward. And the writing style, the voice was fairly good. I mean, it wasn't bad at all, but it was just a quick, straightforward story. Didn't have a whole lot of embellishment. Was pretty good. And for Antimatter Blues, I actually thought it improved artistically. artistically, narratively, the story seemed to be a little more trimmed up, a little more straightforward. It was moving in a definite direction. The threat to the main character, the stakes were higher in the second book. So I'm noticing that Edward Ashton is getting better at his craft in the second book. I do believe that this series could continue. The second book left it open for even more exploration of this world, which is kind of the nice part of, I think, of science fiction and encountering new worlds. You know, there's going to be alien encounters or encounters with different types of bacteria or viruses or
microscopic things or
Gigantic things or whatever.
science fiction kind of allows for things to become even more grandiose. So I enjoyed these books. If you like kind of a quick sci-fi, quirky book, there's not too much hard science in it, just kind of a fun story, a fun situation, I would recommend these books. And we'll see if Edward Ashton comes out with another book. I might be interested in reading that. I'm definitely liking this series. So it's not anything that's pushed me away in any way. So, but that's what I've got today for you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And remember, keep reading. So 4 out of 5 robes for Mickey. Blah, blah, blah.